Good afternoon. Welcome to the Waipuna Halswell-Hornby-Riccarton Community Board meeting. Thank you all for being here today. This is our general meeting, and it is live streamed, and recordings will be available on the Community Board's YouTube channel. For those of you sitting in the gallery, hello. Thank you for attending. We welcome all of you, and thank you for your interest in our discussions and also for participating. You're presenting as well. Now, please note that the public gallery should remain quiet during the meeting. Now, toilets are located outside, just outside through the door. In case of an emergency, please exit via that door at the back of the room, and there are 2 staircases to exit the building. Please follow staff directions in the case of an emergency. We will start with our parakia. Thank you so much for the apologies, we are all here, so no apologies. And yes, just in case, I might be an early departure. And Peter, Mark, and Hank. Yes, so the 3 of us, yeah. So we will aim to finish the meeting by 5:30. If not, Helen will take over. Right. Okay. Right. So, declarations of interest, any there? Andre has declared an interest in item number 7. Yeah. Right. Confirmation of previous minutes. We have 2 minutes.
Happy to move.
Both open and public excluded minutes.
Yep.
Yes, and seconded by Andre.
No, I was interested. Someone else can second.
Oh, Sarah.
Yep.
Right. Moved by Mark, seconded by Sarah.
We're talking about 7.
No.
No, confirmation of
confirmation.
minutes. Yeah. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Right. So we move on to the public forums. So as we are under some time constraint, the meeting will aim to finish at 5:30. I will ask that we adhere strictly to the 5-minute limit for presentations, including questions. So when we reach 5 minutes, that's it, right? So we have the first one, the West Wholesale Development and Wholesale Residents Association meeting. Yeah, also residents representatives will address the board regarding development in West Wholesale and an upcoming Wholesale Residents Association meeting. Welcome, John and Ross.
Kia ora, and thanks for the opportunity to present here today. I'm Ross McFarlane from the HRA, Horseville Residents Association Committee, and with me is John Bennett, our chair. As our speaker, David Hawke, our treasurer, is delivering a similar message to the Braden Kashmir Healthcare Community Board. That's what I'm going to talk about, or we are going to talk about, and then them too. Firstly, briefly, we have our normal monthly meeting 30th of June, and we're having Ecan Councillor Nuk Karako speak to us regarding how he is appointed through his iwi representation. I think that's, well, we think it's a point that's misunderstood. They are appointed to a board and not elected, so he's coming to explain that. So you're welcome to attend and have a listen to that. Our second topic is, in case you are like us, we thought large developments to Horseville are pretty much at an end. We want to tell you about an application from a joint venture between Urban Estates Limited and around 6 land site owners under the government's fast track approval system for 35 hectare, 500 allotment residential home on John Patterson Drive. I've got a handout here of just where that is, and also on the back of it, there is a link to the Ministry of Environment website, which will give you an update on that. So that'll be shared around as best you can. So where is it? Basically, it's in the area that runs to the west of John Patterson Drive, close to the motorway exit, around about on Halswell Junction Road at the end of Richmond Avenue, not far from Upstream School, which is some people sitting beside us from at the moment. The area also curves around with its southeast corner close to the back fence of the Upstream School. According to the application documents on the Ministry of Environment website, Christchurch City Council has been consulted, whatever that means. Anyway, we mentioned this application at our last monthly meeting in May, and we're surprised that our elected members hadn't heard much or anything about it. So here to explain some of the implications as we see them. There we go, in no particular order. The typical Christchurch City household has 2 cars. Broadly speaking, this development means another 1,000 cars heading out one gate each morning, and that is Richmond Avenue. There's no easy access onto the motorway, and Springs Road is a nightmare. So more traffic will go through Halswell, then downstream, either Hornby, Riccarton, or beyond to Spraydon, Herne, Cashmere and Addington. On the other hand, the number 7 bus route is close by, and it could make a good alternative for these people. There's also a pretty good chance that ECAN could extend the number 7 route into the subdivision. This number 7 route is now a no timetable bus route that travels every 10 minutes between certain hours. The public transport priority from Dunbar's Road will be really important here if City Council ever get round to doing it. And that's the final section between Kirtlets and Wrights Road. It's project 917 in the long-term plan, and it's about, or possibly being deferred yet again since first appearing in the 2016 long-term plan. Then, if you're looking for another good long-term project, what about Park and Ride on the northwest side of John Patterson Drive with a 10-minute bus frequency? It really makes sense. Previous Park and Ride proposals have gone nowhere because the City Council sat on its hands while potential sites were all sold for housing. There is a twist here though. According to our reading, the development falls outside of the catchments to which development contributions apply under the current 2021 policy or the draft 2025 policy. So the developers would not pay for active transport.
30 seconds
public
left.
transport. This comes to around $1.43 million. Begs questions on community facilities, and there's a lot missing there. So we really urge you as community board to engage with the council team. You need to know about this. This is $18.5 million worth of development contributions, and we would like them spent wisely. Sorry, I've gone over time.
No, just right on time. Thank you, Ross and John. Right.
Thank you, Ross.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we have representatives of Halswell School will address the board regarding safety improvements in the vicinity of the school. Please come forward, come to the table. Welcome. And just before you start, and so for all the others who don't know the people around this table, if we just introduce very quickly, start with Helen. You can introduce
Helen Broughton-Riccarton.
Back, Hornby.
Stephen Wura from Halswell.
Hey guys, I'm Tyler from Riccarton.
Sarah from Hornby. Luke from Riccarton.
Mark Peters from Hornby.
Andre Moore Halswell.
and Marie Halswell. Right. So you have 5 minutes and we start now.
I have the clicker down
A-
here
a
if they want
clicker?
to.
You have the clicker down there if you want to. Yeah, okay.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to us today. We're Georgia and Lottie. Nathan's not here today, and we're speaking on behalf of our school. Some things about us. I'm Georgia, I'm a year 8, and I'm 13 years old.
I'm Lottie, I'm a year 7 and I am 11 years old. And unfortunately, I don't think Nathan's turned up. So, why do we need pedestrian refuges? To reduce risk of collision by allowing pedestrians to cross one side of traffic at a time, easier for people who have mobility issues and for those who find it hard to judge large gaps in traffic. And refuges can reduce the overall distance. And it also simplifies the task of crossing the road, and they can reduce the speed of incoming traffic.
So up the top right, that's our school with the big field. And then there's O'Halloran Drive on the very left. Now this one, we definitely need a refuge island here because cars can't turn right onto Horsell Road when they're leaving, picking up the kids from school. So they turn left and they do U-turns in O'Halloran Drive. But that's a problem for kids who are trying to cross the road because they don't know whether a car will come back around and could come back and possibly almost hit them, or if it will keep going down. But having a refuge island in the middle would help them to not get stuck in the middle of the road.
So this is Kennedy's Bush Road. It's the Kennedy's Bush Road intersection. So there's a little bit of a problem for the safety of kids who walk to or from school, like in this direction, because in Kennedy's Bush Road, there's the crossing there is patrolled by the teachers, and also the school road crossing is also patrolled by teachers. But a lot of kids go across the Kennedy's Bush Road crossing, and then they cross Provincial Road, which that crossing is not patrolled by teachers. And so we would like some speed humps around that area so that to ensure that cars coming in don't keep going fast, so that it's safer for kids who go down that route.
Yeah, and here we have Sabi's Road, and as you can see, this road is very straight. And what do most people do on straight roads? They speed up, right? And as you know, quite a few people who've been crossing this road and been nearly got run over. So what we think that adding pedestrians, refugees here, just like two on that road and one on there, we think that those houses is gonna help make the road safer. Yeah, it's just.
We have a video, but we might not be able to watch the whole thing. But the first person who speaks makes a good point.
Sorry, we're just trying to get this way. Also, video is available on the hub, and we can take time for one question.
Right. We can Right, we've got 18 seconds left. We've got a question from Andre, if it's okay, we'll just pause it and then we can, the members will have access to the video. We can watch it at another time. Andre?
Thank you very much. Absolutely spot on. Those pedestrian refuges are 20 years overdue when those houses across the road were built. 20 years overdue, but it seems like we're almost there. Just as a heads up, the plan shows 2 pedestrian refuge islands further down towards Halswell Junction Road. There is actually another one planned for over by O'Halloran Drive as well, but that will be built separately as part of developments further up. So not part of this plan, but would be built separately as part of developments. So thank you very, very much.
All right, thank you. Just so you know, the reports on safety improvements for Halswell, Knightstream, and Oakland School are scheduled to come to the board for consideration at the July 10th meeting. So keep an eye out for that. All right, thank you.
Well done, team.
Next, we have representatives of Knightstream School regarding safety improvements also in the vicinity of the school. Please come forward. Right. Oh, sorry.
Oops.
Yes.
Yes. Wait.
So, timer. Good. Right. Welcome. Can we start?
Hello, my name is Tegan. I am a unit student at Knightstream School, and we are very excited to be here today.
Hello, my name is Lexis. I'm a Year 7 student, and over here in the audience we have Varun and Duncan and Ella. They are also Year 7s.
Hello, my name is Grace. I am a Year 7 student too. We are here in support of traffic lights going in on the Halswell Junction Road because it will make it safer to cross the road for both school students and the wider community, and the weekends for sports and heading.
Let's go faster here. And now more houses are going to be built, so more people will want to cross the road, and it connects to the preschool across the road from our school and the park. What do you think?
Now we will play a video from our school community.
It's done.
Thank you for taking the time to hear us out. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right, thank you. As mentioned earlier, yeah, the report will come to the board at July 10th meeting, so keep an eye out for that. Right? Thank you. Now we have representatives of Oakland School. Welcome.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Okay, guys, we'd just like to say thank you for taking time out of your day to come and listen to us. We'll be talking about the crossing proposals on the different streets, and you will see in this slideshow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kia ora, we're some students from Oakland's Te Kura o Ōwaka. Our names are Griffin, Toby and River, and we want to address a problem in our community. We think safe roads are very important, especially around schools with young students. Fun fact, we have a cool connection to Andre Moore. He used to go to our school.
Yeah.
Dunbar's Road roundabout. On this roundabout, it has been proposed that we add speed bumps on entry into the roundabout, raised crossings and islands. We think this is good as it will encourage kids to bike and walk to school, as it will make it easier to cross the roundabout. This would also make cars slow down, as a lot of us have seen cars speed right through the roundabout, causing accidents and near misses.
Dunbar's road crossing. On this road, it has been proposed to add signal pedestrian crossings. We think this is a good idea, as students who live right across Dunbar's road and those who cross that road all the time and move through the bus stop have a safer option. Otherwise, they have to go all the way down to the roundabout or the BP on the other end, adding 5 minutes there and another 5 minutes back, adding on to the morning and afternoon commute. But most students do not do this. They run across the road right there and try not to get hit when the cars are speeding down this road. It would be much easier for them to commute to and from school, and for the community to come in the weekend and play on the playground or the field and use the bike track.
Ensign Street crossing. On this road, it has been proposed to add built-out crossings, shadow markings, and speed bumps. This would make a safer crossing for kids to get home and use the bus stop. I cross this road every day after school, just like many other kids. Right now, there's no safe crossing. I see closed calls every month because there are cars coming from the school pickup zone and the shopping centre. This would be very helpful to our community if it got through.
Lily Street crossing. On this road, it has been proposed to add islands and raised crossings. We think this is good, as kids most of the time can't see if a car is about to turn. This causes accidents, as kids can be in the middle of the road and a car can turn really fast and hit them. Adding raised crossings and islands will help slow down traffic, improve visibility, and give children safer opportunities to cross the road and get home safer. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time to listen to us. We hope you take this into consideration as a possibility to make our roads safer to cross and a better and safer community. Any questions?
Yes, thank you. Yes, we've got time for questions. Helen.
Thank you. You talk about a traffic signal crossing. Now, there's two types. One where cars stop all the time, it's automatic, or one where they just stop if a pedestrian pushes a signal. So which one of those will you want?
We're hoping for like the pedestrian where they push it and then it will.
When it's pushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Helen. Any, yeah, we still got time for other questions. Anybody has any? Andre.
I was going to point out, your teacher gave you advice to make a pop. I think he absolutely did that. Absolutely pop. Very nice work. Summed it up beautifully. It's coming.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now we've got two deputations coming. We've got, first is Gareth Popplestone on item 9 on Ritter Reserve. Welcome, Gareth.
Got a few handouts for everyone. Sorry, I didn't print out enough, so we have to share, sorry.
Gareth, yeah, the students, you're welcome to stay, but if you need to go, you're all good for you to go. Great. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
See you, Gareth. Thanks.
Long time no see.
Oh, good.
It's okay, I'll take a drink.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing. Man, it's
It's not close.
So good.
No,
So good.
too thick.
How good were both ones? What a great slideshows.
Did you sit there and help?
All right, go, Gareth.
I would take it as a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Time's running.
So I believe you've all seen the email that Andre sent around. So, okay. Long story short, I've spoken to over 20 families at the actual park itself. Not a single one is in favour of an additional 89 trees going in. I have a counter proposal there, which is about 19 new trees. This has been a compromise. A significant number of the people I talked to wanted 0 new trees. This was sort of a halfway point. The absolute non-negotiables is any tree that basically interrupts that big open area in the centre. It gets used for a wide range of activities, which I believe I listed in my email. Down the back there, the residents around here, they're concerned about antisocial behaviour. They end up finding periodically needles, other unsavoury things down the big open drain there. So they would rather not have more trees, which is then going to add in that. A compromise could be some flower gardens or some other type of vegetation, just not big trees that people can start being hiding behind. Around the playground area, the big concern around here is either the trees ripping up the new tarmac, which has already started to happen in some of the new areas. It's been in 6 to 12 months and the roots are already destroying it. The other part is that this playground gets used both summer and winter. While I do agree that this proposal does have some fantastic benefits in summer, in winter it doesn't. It's got asphalt, the kids are still using the pump track, which they love. So additional leaves, water not drying off the track, it's going to end up in more injuries. So what you see in front of you, where you can see a red X, that is where there is a tree being proposed that everyone I've put to is against. And where you do not see a red X, but you do see one of the little circles, that is one of the proposed trees that we were okay with it being. So it's not that we're against trees, we're just against them being in places where the community uses that area for other purposes. Yes.
Yeah, no,
No, you keep going.
Keep
We'll
going.
have questions after your presentation.
No, I'm happy to leave it there and jump straight into questions.
All right, you only have 10 minutes.
yes.
Right.
You've got housing around this park?
Yes.
Yes, and it's used by young people in particular for
No, it's used by a whole range.
whole range.
There's an elderly gentleman that turns up, especially during the summer, on a Wednesday or a Thursday afternoon to practice his fly fishing. I'm in there 5 days a week at least with my dog.
Okay.
There's plenty of other people around there, hence why I've been able to talk to everybody and see the actions that go on there.
Okay.
There's families, there's elderly people, there's people my age that have got together to play a game of handball.
Okay.
It's a widely used range of park for a heap of other things. Like we've also just put in a new soccer field, like soccer goal. So why
Yes.
are we trying to make the big open areas smaller when we've just gone and done that?
Yes.
So it does feel a bit stupid that the council's gone and spent probably $30,000+ on a set of drawings, but they're actually looking at how the area is used by the community first.
Okay. Have
Get
they,
another-
one second question. Did they consult with you at all?
No.
Okay.
So there were some signs that were put up. There was 4 signs. That was also as part of my email, hence why I didn't put a submission in, because I didn't see them because I was hidden off to the side. And they're also green and white, in which a park full of green things is a bit stupid in my opinion.
But you didn't get a pamphlet?
Oh, no,
red
no,
line?
nothing like that.
Okay, thank you.
It's the same issue we went over when we had the playground with the swings where there was no actual proposal put in front of us. They said, oh, we're thinking of doing something. And everyone's like, okay, cool. What are you doing? Didn't hear anything. And then suddenly we find out the school's trying to take the swing away.
Okay, thank you.
Another question from Mark?
Yeah, you've probably already answered it, but I'll just get it on record. Have you been consulted directly, like an on-park meeting?
No.
You think that would have been useful?
Yes.
Excellent, thank you.
Right. Go ahead. Gareth.
No, I'm happy just to keep taking questions now. But
Okay, Andre?
It just for some additional context. So there was a pamphlet drop, but not an extensive one that reached everyone that uses the park. So there would have been a lot of park users, including Gareth.
Houses might have been.
I believe maybe the immediate.
I would disagree with that.
So the immediate
neighbourhood
neighbourship,
citizen
but
there is
some
about 100 to 150 metres from the park, and it didn't reach me.
Yeah. Yep.
Can I
Okay.
ask Andre a question?
You can ask Gareth.
No, it was for Andre. No, but anyway, it's
Right.
okay.
Any other questions for Gareth? Yep. Sure.
So Gareth, just to clarify, your whole point is that you would like to see the inside space kept. You're happy with trees around the perimeter, mainly? There's some trees in the red crosses around the perimeter that you've crossed.
So yeah, that was partly because you've gone and put in down the strip here, there's been a new flower garden that's just been put in there. Like, obviously, partner A is not talked to partner B here, because why are we trying to put things in on top of things?
Is that wildflowers? Are they wildflowers?
Yeah, I think we got rid of one of them because that was put in the main walking area. But anyway, that's another issue.
Do the communities like the wildflowers?
They like them in sensible places. One of them I've already emailed off about getting removed and put back into grass because people just walked over it because it was in the sports field area.
Right.
So that was right in here. And again, people go straight from across there. And it was, it's already covered in footprints, bike prints, dog prints.
Was it? Sorry, was
that
that?
Luke and then Debbie?
Oh, Debbie can go first.
Sorry, was that? I think it was purposely planted there, or do you think it might have just been seeding that dropped there?
You're talking about wildflowers?
Yeah.
No, it was purposely. They dug it up and then they came back and then extended it.
Thank you.
We've got a wildflower planting plan that goes to different reserves around the city.
So like the strip down the side there, down here, perfect place for it. Out of the way, it's adding greenery to the area. Everyone is on board with those kind of proposals. The big triangle in here, everyone hates, and hence why we got it removed.
Right, we've got Luke and then Andre.
So from us today, are you wanting us to vote that we initiate this plan, or would we rather go to you, meet you guys in the park, have consultation, and actually go out and see?
That could be kind of hard because I walk my dog, depending on when I finish work, everyone's in there from after school to 9-10 o'clock at night. It can be quite hard. This seems to be the summary of all the feedback that I've received. It could definitely be an option there. I'm always pro additional consultation. I've just tried putting together what I believe to be an accurate representation of what people have said. And again, like there's a lot of there's no trees at all. So some trees is more than what they wanted.
Right, I've got Andre, Debbie, and then Tyler.
Yeah, so just to clarify for board members, so there was a wildflower section that got they got made, and that is now being sorted. The grass is going to be reinstated. The wildflowers will remain over on the side where it's good, but the part you're talking about will now be reinstated. So that's all. It's sort of taken care of. I guess to me, Gareth, what you put forward here seems pretty clear cut to me. And if that what you're putting forward was approved, that doesn't appear to me as though it would require further consultation. That seems pretty clear cut. It's not going to plant trees where anyone really doesn't want them. Is that fair to say?
Yes, I'd say that's fair.
Okay.
I think probably the additional consultation, because obviously talking to the arborist earlier, they obviously wanted a lot more trees in there. I think we've proposed about 19 here, whereas they're wanting 89. That's quite a big difference. So if we need to meet somewhere in the middle, then I would say additional consultation is definitely required.
Well, at the end of the day, none of us go and decide to plant trees where the community don't want them, because there'll be other communities that want trees, and there's limited budget to go around. So it seems pretty clear cut to me. That you've made it. Thank you.
We've got a minute and a half left. We've still got Debbie and then Tyler.
Yeah, thanks, Gareth. Just for the record's sake, how many families do you feel that you are representing?
Over 20. And I've met them at the park, and that didn't include the Facebook post I put up as well.
Okay, thank you.
Tyler?
I'm just thinking, start from a process perspective, particularly in terms of parks. Whenever we turn down parking plans, they usually push them out to the next year. Is there any staff members in here to talk on
Yeah, there will be for the report. They're online for another meeting.
it? Okay, no, that's great. That's one.
I intend to move a resolution that I think is.
Are you going to move
The
that?
question would be whether this is in order or not.
When it comes to this, I believe it can be made.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We've
Okay.
got room for another question. Does anybody else have a question to Gareth? You want to say anything else, Gareth?
No.
Right?
It's just pretty cut.
Thank
Pretty
you.
quick.
Mark's got a
Yeah,
last
that's
question.
great.
So,
Mark's got a question.
so just one quick clarifying question. Would you prefer that we worked a way to work your
Yeah.
feedback directly into the approved planting plan that we might approve? Or would you prefer it to be deferred, perhaps for another season, so we can get it absolutely right?
I'm not too worried either way. The original proposed plan, I think, is just too over the top and will annoy a lot of people.
Yeah.
There could be more trees than what's down here now, but it's going to require, I think, more people to input realistically.
All right.
Andre's
Okay.
resolution.
Thank you, Gareth.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Good work,
Gareth.
Gareth.
Right.
Now that again.
Right. And we've got another deputation for item number 10. We've got Cody. Come forward, please. Welcome, Cody.
Bill, drink it down on for the. It's going on for the.
It is cold in here.
Thanks.
Freezing.
Thank you for having me today. Just here in my own capacity as well. So number 10 on the agenda tonight is about some issues with Church Corner found in a safety audit that happened after the Church Corner upgrades were done. So I just want to say it's actually really pleasing to see that was suggested. Crossing the street can actually be really hard sometimes for some people. Probably would have been better to have been a curb build out, but I appreciate that we've just spent $0.4 million in Church Corner. So I think it's quite prudent to go with the approach of taking the car parks out. I would just say that I was a little bit surprised to see this and to see it also so soon. And the reason I say that is because in Hornby, actually, in fact, we've been asking for certain kinds of improvements. For example, at the Awatea Springs Road intersection to happen for a number of years now, and it hasn't happened. It's a very low cost to do that. As we've seen, it's maybe $1,000, which probably includes staff time, probably on a salary. Say painting, it's probably what, a couple of $100 maybe. Really like to see from board tonight that we could get at least a question into staff if we could get some no parking lines installed at the end of MS Road. The
What road?
same MS Road.
Oh,
yep.
I could be on Lanes Road.
Yep.
Not Church Corner.
The same as what we've done down the other end, and the same as what we're proposing to do today, actually it's at Church Corner. It will improve sightlines for people crossing, and we already know that's dangerous. And when it's time to present on MS Road for those larger pieces of work, which will take some time, right? I will be sharing a video that's quite shocking, actually from the dairy owner who lives there. And I've got another video as well, separate incident that's happened. We actually can't wait. And I know that that package of work will be expensive to do. It's important that we do it. It's important that we do it right. We've got 31 units of housing coming in just one development alone, and the current road as it's built will not work for those residents. We can't let them down, and it will also not work for all the people who are already using it there. And so while this is a dedication on this item number 10, I support that. But I'm asking if we can please ask staff to do something similar at the end of Amos Road by the dairy. And we know that it works. We've done it down the other end already. And it's solved a lot of problems.
You do know this is deputation on item number 10. It's not an Amy's Road.
I do know.
Right. It can be considered in the report. It's out of scope.
Okay, so that's fine. Use the area.
Right. Okay. So are you done? We're happy to take questions now. Are you?
Are you playing a video?
Hang on. We've got Mark first, and then Debbie and Helen and Luke.
I suspect you've just ruled my question out. So we'll have to find a way to do it otherwise, because the system is not working for us. You've got to find a way to get these into the system.
I can see that.
Okay, I've still got time. So, I mean, things that I've seen, I've seen through an image as well, which I'm not sure if you can see on the, oh, that you have, that's okay. All right, no trouble. With these kinds of improvements are very low cost and they bring a really high benefit for people as well. And in particular, for this one in Church Corner, this will mean that it's safer for people across the street. But in terms of for Hornby as well, we would see that this would be improving traffic quite a lot. It will improve it also for bus users. And we know that it backs up significantly. So it's a way that we can be prudent, again, as we have done with this one, right? Because the recommendation actually wasn't to do the curb build out. It was to put in, take out 2 car parks, right? Because it's already got 20 plus car parks there. It's how can we do the same? Like how can we do it in different places where it makes sense?
Question from Debbie, Helen, and then Luke. Debbie.
I think I might have been going down the same path as Mark.
Yep, we have to find out how to do it.
Good plan.
Any question? Do you have a question?
No.
No. Helen.
Yes, I've lost track of what you're saying. You're looking at what we've done in Yalters Road and Brake Street,
Yes.
which was a compromise after a lot of difficulty. Are you trying to say that there's another road that needs it?
Yes.
Or are you wanting us to do something with this Brake Street and Yalters Road?
So the item that's in front of, the item that's in front of the board today, there is an item that has been staff generated after the people have done an independent safety audit. And so they've recommended 2 options. One is they said we can put another speed hump in, which seems ridiculous. We've already got a speed hump there and we've spent $1.4 million. Or we can actually look at taking out some car parks, or we can do a curb build out, which is $30,000. So it's going to cost $1,000 to do it there to improve safety for people so that they have better visibility. And the kids from Halswell talked about how important that was as well.
Yes.
It is important. And we'll see that actually, I think it's down in Spain Street where all the shops are.
So are you trying,
It's a great idea.
you trying to want us to shift what's here, or are you wanting us to do?
I'm saying that
up
it's a
somewhere else?
item that's on the agenda today.
Okay. Thank
And
you.
so he's asking for us to consider another road, Amy's Road.
Amy's Road.
It's in order.
We're not about plan.
One is not in order.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Okay, Luke.
So I guess what you're asking is the speed of this improvement that's come to the board for Church Corner or Yalters Brake Street. You'd like a similar sort of speed for another intersection.
I think so.
Within the combined ward area.
Yeah, I guess that was really the reason that I was speaking to this one. Is it actually very frustrating to be a resident in the Hornby ward when we've faced these issues for a number of years. And I know that other people who I've spoken with have brought this before the board, and we've seemingly got this like within the month. I mean, it's a couple of yellow lines. So if I had some paint, I could do it myself.
We recommend
It's not something that seems that hard to me. We don't need to spend hours to get a traffic engineer to tell us that you can't see. Yeah,
okay.
That's a piece of frustration.
I just want to acknowledge that I have seen the video that you referred to as well, and it is genuinely quite shocking. So, thank you for that.
Right, questions from Debbie and then Sarah. Debbie, your question, please.
Okay, I've had it answered by Tyler.
Sarah.
Would it be helpful to know how these improvements are prioritised?
Yes, absolutely. And so
Not fully clear on that, and I'm still trying to understand how it works, but we can ask staff.
and I guess at the risk of
Can I just clarify, we are on a deputation on this report, so we cannot entertain this.
So in the context of this report, can I ask how it's prioritised, these safety improvements compared to other locations?
That's a question for staff.
Yeah, and so I was just asking, would it be helpful to know what those priorities are? Yeah, so that's why I'll ask staff.
Thank you. That would be
all right.
And I face the same issue with the footpaths I previously spoke to. There was meant to be a prioritization process for that, and it's bumped out probably 3 times now more that's happened. And I understand that there's challenges with regards to the building in Hereford Street and so on. So yeah, if we can get clarity around how these are prioritized, and part of that's probably funding as well. Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great. Yeah.
Right. Probably last, Tyler.
Yeah, no, it's fine. And just in the context of this report, The safety audit was done after the work's finished. So they do an automatic independent safety audit after the work's done to audit it, and then they put forward works after it to assess it. And this is what they came up with.
Yeah, and I guess, I know that wasn't a question, but as Andre said earlier, you know, some people are waiting 20 years, you know, when these improvements should have been done. And I get that we've just done work and now we've done a post-safety audit. But when we go and add, you know, a couple of hundred houses somewhere, we don't generally do that from what I can. There are some circumstances where that happens. but
We've asked that for
usually,
a couple of years too,
Mm.
Cody. So
thank you.
I hear
Okay.
you.
Okay, all right, thank you, Cody.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you.
thank you. Now we move on. There are no presentation of petitions for this meeting.
No.
All right, and item number 7, notice of motion. Right.
Andre did.
Right, Andre, Councillor Moore has declared an interest in this, so
That's at the top.
do I have a mover and seconder?
I'll move it.
Moved by Smith, seconded.
Doesn't it,
And
shouldn't it
now-
have been proposed people who put the notice of motion
Yeah.
in on here?
Here's my name.
Yeah, they're here. Yep. So,
In green.
right,
So I'll move it.
yep, and seconded by Mark. And do you want to say anything?
Nope.
No, we pass without debate.
No,
Right.
can I just ask a question? Why is there just Luke's name there and not the 2 other people that supported the notice of motion?
Luke's moving it.
Yes, I know, but I was under understanding that it would always be the names of the people that promoted the notice of motion.
It's in the notice of motion, but
So
it's
that's
not.
fine, the notice, but Luke's the mover, as I understand it.
Yeah, all right. Okay, we'll put it to vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Councillor Moore, you can come back now. We move on to item number 8, proposed lanes, number 70 McTeague Road.
I move.
I'll second that.
Debbie is moved and seconded by Luke. Anybody, right? So I will put it to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Motion is passed. Now we move on to item number 9. Do we have this stuff already?
You're going to do
Yeah, well, just a
Toby's available.
couple of questions for staff, but I can't
And
see
10
why
I think.
we can't just put this in a resolution.
Yeah.
To
Yeah, yeah.
amend their plan in accordance with what's provided by Gareth. So I'll clarify with staff. but- Yeah. So so Gary had a chat with staff member before, so I'll just ask if it's doable, if I can be bundled into a resolution, then I'm keen to.
I'll support that.
give it a-
Worst it comes to us in July.
I think
We'll still be here.
I
I
think
really don't see that as necessary. to be
it'll be
honest.
No.
So
doable.
we don't need to be going around in circles
No,
talking about whether we
No.
plant a tree there or like we've got to get on with it.
take staff time.
What number are we on? So the arborist is here. but
Yeah,
he's
so
just-
we are in item number
Period.
9. Yes, Toby?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was in another meeting at the same time.
Right.
You tell us. Well done.
Thank you. Take us read. Any questions? Andre, and then
Seeing it, yeah.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for your time on this. The conversation we've had with the resident, it seems pretty clear cut what the suggested compromise is. If we move a resolution, in line and referring to what's been put in front of us here, if we move a resolution along those lines and that comes to you, is that workable? Is that doable? It all seems pretty clear.
It's workable, but I think we can do better. So my suggestion would be to take Ritter out, let me work with them and then come up with a different solution.
That would be your preference?
That would be my preference.
Okay, and are you able to touch on why that would be your preference?
Because we discussed some stuff earlier and there's some of the concerns that he had, I think we can address in other ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so your strong preference is we just, we're deferring it.
Yeah.
Till next month.
Depends on when we can get in and have a look. Yeah.
And you're sure that just not going ahead with trees in certain places is the. wouldn't
I do, I think there's other things that we could. do.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Justin, thank you.
I've got Debbie, Luke, and then Helen.
Thanks, Toby. You mentioned before we can do better. What did you mean by that?
I think if we're looking at, so where the non-negotiables are and taking these out, I think along the bottom there, we could look at reducing the density. And maybe having the occasional tree. So hearing the concerns that he raised about shading on the property and the solar panels and things, I think there's still ways we can incorporate the occasional tree and address those issues. The issues around the bike track, the pump track and the trees in the middle there, the concerns about asphalt being broken, we can address that through design and species choice. And the leaf drop, so we can address some of that with species. Where we've got up the top of the playground area, and there's all those trees being taken out. I think that there's still potential scope for the occasional tree to be put in there. I think there's space. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Luke, and then Helen.
Just trying to think what the question was now. Helen, you can go first while I rethink.
Thank you. We seem to have taken out a lot of open space. Do you believe open space is important for both adults and children?
Of course I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if this is this a tendency we're doing through a lot of parks or just some parks? Because people buy houses because there's open space, and then suddenly we come in and plant trees.
Yeah.
So,
and it's a mixed bag. Sometimes we leave space open and we get asked to fill it and turn it into a forest. The park I just came from, there was a big open space and they've asked for that to be turned into a forest when we come forward. So we do, some of these things come out when we go through consultation and we get feedback on that. We make adjustments for it. We had left what we thought was enough open space, but we've heard it's not.
okay, thank you. And did you put a pamphlet? I have asked this question of our resident. Did you put a pamphlet in everybody's letterbox who boarded the park?
Yes.
You did. So it was the wider group that weren't consulted. The broad people that the block back.
Like Patterson Terrace.
I'm just trying to get how far that
It's
consultation.
usually anyone who borders the park gets a letter drop with a pamphlet with a link to it. And then we put signage at all the entrances. You've mentioned earlier that the signage wasn't in the best place and didn't stand out. So we'll take that feedback on board as well.
Okay, thank you.
Andre?
I've remembered mine now. I've remembered mine now.
I will.
I think go to Luke, I'm ready to move it.
Okay, cool.
Luke.
So if we send it back to you to look at, will it be done this planting season or probably next planting
I
season?
don't think we'd get to this planting season.
Okay.
It takes us a couple of years to order trees. So we'd be hoping to get in next planting season.
So even if we approve this plan that you put before us, it wouldn't be this planting season?
Unlikely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there was a reference to some of the wildflower trials that are being done. Was the plan to replace those with trees in the original plan?
No, I have nothing to do with the wildflowers. So I haven't addressed any of the wildflower stuff yet.
Okay, so it's maybe a case of them not talking to you and you're not talking to them kind of thing?
They generally have a look at the plans that we do and haven't highlighted anything.
Because those wildflower trials are already in place, is that right?
So we have been planting trees in amongst the wildflowers as well.
And there's nothing stopping you from planting them in amongst them? Okay.
It actually works quite well because it means that we water the trees, water the wildflowers at the same time.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you.
I've got Andre and then Debbie.
Yeah, well, I'd like to please move the officer recommendations with an alteration to item 4.
I'm just working on item 4.
Nice one, thank you.
Can I just
Something along the lines of.
Sorry.
Yeah, so thank you for clarifying what could be better. So you also see the plan suggested to us. You're happy to keep the open spaces?
Oh, it's a community's park, it's not my park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great,
Cool.
thanks.
Right. Just working on number 4.
Hey, reckon we'll take some trees, mate.
Yeah, I'll take some trees.
Waterloo will be fine.
Bring some Blackburn Park.
No more.
That's an easy one. Yeah.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, whatever's left over, we'll what have to have them.
I reckon we could fit,
ourselves.
Yeah, I reckon.
we could fit some on the Riccarton Road medium.
No,
Dibs.
take out that Riccarton Road median,
Yeah.
bring back 50 k's.
Put some on the
Did have
things there.
green, but,
Crossing.
If we put
If we do it on one side.
Right, okay,
Can't do both sides.
this one.
Also got red.
Number 4 notes that staff will revise the plan for planting of trees within Widder Reserve in consultation with community and will provide the revised plan to the board for consideration.
Beautiful.
Will
Happy to move.
we reference this?
It's going back to consultation.
Sarah,
One quick question,
one quick question.
could there be a on-site meeting with interested residents, like what happened at?
Yeah.
Waipuna?
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, okay, Andre has moved
Yes.
and seconded by Mark.
Yep.
Right?
Did you have a question?
Oh,
I had a question.
Oh, gosh,
Just a very quick one.
all right.
Get the lead.
Just thinking going forward with these sorts of reserve tree planting plans, could it be something that we could adjust the consultation process by scheduling in some on-site meetings with the community?
I'm trying to get 100 done.
I know,
Yeah.
My time's already really stretched.
Just might save
I
coming
do-
up with this.
Yeah, I understand that occasional ones do get this, but I think the amount of workload that will go into these, and sometimes we do try and do community meetings, but they're always after hours, and then sometimes you get people turn up, sometimes you don't. It's really better led by community, and I do make an effort to go to them when I'm out.
Right.
Yeah.
Might be one for us as elected members to keep an eye on and ask for as needed.
All right.
Yeah, maybe a website they can go to.
Yeah.
So did you second that one?
Yes.
Yes, okay, all right, thank you, Toby.
Cool.
Thank you.
Appreciated. So I will
I,
put,
Thank you.
no, I wish to speak to this actually.
Okay.
Which one?
Yeah.
Tree planting.
debate,
Yes.
all right.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's 5:30, by the way.
Yes, I know.
Thanks, Doug.
I think, can I just say, I support fully the resolution. Underneath all this is the sort of group and council who are intensifying areas that don't want to be intensified and taking down trees in that process, because trees come down if you change the height of a building, a developer can choose where he puts the entranceway. So there'll be trees in Riccarton which will have to go. And at the same time, and we're now below Auckland and Wellington in terms of our tree coverage, and that's partly through intensification. Now, what we're doing now is to say, well, we haven't got enough trees, and therefore we're going to plant trees in parks. And I believe a lot of parks are used by a range of people for recreation. Children in particular can kick balls around, play cricket, whatever. So this is just part of the start of a trend, I think, that's unsatisfactory. I'm happy, though, to support what's going through, but I would like not to see any more of these, but I probably will.
What do you mean by any more of these?
Any more of this open space going.
It's got 100
planted
doing it.
trees. Heavily planted trees.
There's that request. for
And
us.
Riccarton Bush Trust is an example where they've got the old bush, 600 years old, and they've got open space where people can play cricket or kick a ball round, and that hasn't been covered with other trees. So it's largely bush. It's largely bush at present, and there's an open space. So we've got to protect open spaces as much as we do trees, in my view. So I'm supporting this, but I would like to see a retrenchment back from overplanting trees in places which people
Are
don't.
you supporting Andre's resolution with the staff? Andre.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you, Helen. I've got Mark.
Yeah, just to give a balance on that, there are places where people do want trees.
Yes.
And I think we've got to find a way of working closer with the community so that we get trees in the right places that people actually want. So we do need to have the open spaces, but at the same time, we've got to have more trees.
And
So we've got to find that
As long
way,
as-
doing that consultation better. That's really what it's about. And I think each one of us around the table here tonight, we need to take some ownership and figure out that we need to be talking to our community. And we need to be taking that back to staff and saying, look, we'd like an on-site meeting. Okay.
I think so.
I think if we can be the gatekeepers on this, it's going to work well. So please, let's step up. We did it in Waipuna Park. We went and spoke to the community and we had a couple of on-site meetings. So you can do that. The staff respond well. So let's step up and be the solution to the problem.
We had a really good meeting at Lomax Place.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Mark. Andre.
Yep, spot on. Just to show leadership. The stops with us, not a tree gets planted without our approval. So it's all good. Nothing gets planted without coming to us first. This is a really good example of it. And I've got full faith in Gareth and Toby. And what will come back to us will be the perfect tree planting plan. The most perfect probably ever is so fear not. Good stuff is going to happen.
Okay, thank you, Andre. Tyler.
Quick plug for staff, Take It Reserve, Suckburn Park, Upper Riccarton Park, Middleton Park, all of those parks, just putting out for staff to think about and consider if you wanted to push them more, because you won't get any kickback from us, that's for sure. Kia ora.
All right, thank you. Now I will put this, put the motion, all four, including the new one.
I'll put it back, sorry.
Back on. The four, that one. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So 1, 2, 3 are the current staff
Correct.
recommendations and the 4 is the
Additional.
one.
Yep.
I've
All right,
altered.
okay, I'll put the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried, the motion has passed. And so now I'm just conscious of time.
Happy to move. This box, you want to put
Now,
through?
which one?
10.
Number 10?
I don't think there's much debate needed on it, right?
No debate. Moved
second.
by Tyler,
Sorry,
second by,
Hang on, I'm just giving the 10. Right.
by Mark,
Yep, you'll hit Break Street. Yellow.
Break Street.
Yeah, can we
And
we have
Not
some,
picking that.
a picture of the
Pedestrian-
clarity of that?
It's in the
ten.
It's in the report.
You want to do like.
Sorry, sorry, can I-
Not on page 85, it's not.
Give you the go page.
hang on,
Sorry.
but
So that
hang on,
you
oh,
need to get stuff that
all line.
all right.
but if you are going to leave.
I have to leave. I was hoping to do 12 first before 10, but now you've started on 10 and you want to debate it. I have to leave.
Okay.
Helen, you'll have to take over.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
My
thank you.
apologies.
I'm keen to.
So we've
all
got,
oh, never know. I don't want to sit on this.
yes, so the resolution is largely technical. Sorry,
PTSD.
It's just for you.
Andrew, yes, come up.
Break Street.
How you going there?
Okay, thank you.
We're doing Amy's Road, are we?
Go on, Andrew.
I have been working on Amy's Road this week, actually, but
Great, that might answer the question.
There you go.
Yes, it did.
Okay, do we need to go?
Where are you off to?
I'm inclined to finish where we've done. Yeah.
We're gonna have no pork.
Go
Where
to
are you off to?
We'll be on behind.
Yeah, no, so you want to put 4 yellow lines in to improve visibility?
We didn't get involved.
Thank you. Give us that option.
Okay,
We'll still have a quorum. So
Andrew, are you,
yes,
take us through this.
thank you. I'm just presenting this on behalf of Macquarie. And I haven't been involved with this previously. My understanding of it is and it's not shown unfortunately on the plan, but on the there's a street view image here that shows the pedestrian island that was installed as part of the church corner works.
That's gorgeous.
Yep, and this is outside the Upper Riccarton Methodist Church.
Right.
And I think it's actually this car here back a bit. So usually what happens throughout a capital works project is there are safety audits undertaken at various stages. And there is always this sort of project, a post-construction safety audit. And and that's done independently. What came out of this one was a recommendation to improve the visibility primarily for pedestrians outside the church, and that's what's shown in the report. There's also a secondary benefit to right-turning vehicles out of Break Street. I understand a letter was
delivered to the church office, and it was discussed at the church office, and they were supportive of the proposals. So it is, yeah, post-construction audit outcome like this is yeah, not unheard of, but doesn't happen particularly often like this.
Are you moving it?
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Tyler's moving it.
I'm happy to second it.
Beat me to it.
Debbie move. Luke second.
No, marked it.
Mark second.
Tyler move.
Tyler and Mark together.
Tyler and Mark.
Do it, Tyler.
Double act again, brother.
It's Debbie and Tyler. Okay.
Okay.
Anyone want to?
No, I'm not on that. No, Tyler moved it.
Tyler.
Oh, Tyler.
Tyler, second is
It's double act.
Anyone wish to speak?
No.
No? All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson.
Number 11 is
Send back for Amy's Road.
the Sunday.
I'll second it.
Anyone wish to actually move?
Sarah moved, I'll second.
Sarah's moved.
Sarah moved
And
and
Luke seconded.
Luke second.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, moving
Go
fast
ahead,
here.
staff. Yes.
No, I'm happy with the staff report. Very good and very informative.
No, look, I think we should hear from staff and then.
Just take the
No, it's
Are you?
been
Are you? Okay.
Been moved.
If you wish to
been moved.
to then stand back. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, so I've got a mover. Sarah, was it?
Yes.
And
Move
the-
was Sarah
Luke,
and the second was Luke.
It was Luke. Okay, any questions or comments? Mark?
Debate.
None?
Just a quick debate
Debate, yes.
around the stormwater superhero trailer. It's an incredibly positive resource, and I would hope that as an organisation we can find a way to make sure that it does actually remain adequately funded, so it can do the good work that it does in the community. We've had it in our area at a number of events.
5 times, I think it is.
And it's been well received, and it makes a good impact to the community to get them to understand what happens to the stormwater. And do you wash your car so it goes down the stormwater? No. Various things like that. Yeah. So hopefully as an organisation we can find a way. We're not finding it as a board to find it at sort of metro level or some other way through sustainability fund or something.
Good to have a video to post on social media.
Okay. Any other comments or statements?
No.
I'll move the actual resolution. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against, carried. Thank you. Moving on to 12, standing orders amendment. Have we got a person to speak to this?
Yes, so that's me.
Oh, thank you. Go ahead.
So, as you know, there's always been standing orders have provided for notices of motion, and there's been a time set in there that notices have to be provided 5 working days before the meeting. Now, council has recently changed that to extend the time out to 10 working days. And so we are asking the board if they would like to consider doing the same. The reasons, it's all set out in the report, but the reasons for it basically is that the processing time is, it's not really workable within 5 working days. Now, it worked for this one that we had on the agenda today, probably because the staff here were local, so the staff providing advice were local, but when advice and input is required from other staff, it's got to go to the CE, time to make good decisions, and it's just too tight.
Thank you. Now, have you finished? Yes. Good. Questions, Debbie, of Faye?
Yes. So, I mean, we did the revocation of Hayton and Wigram Road within 5 days, and it's always been 5 days.
Yep.
And so you're saying it's because of staff pressure?
It is a lot of pressure. There's more notices of motion going through, and it's the same staff that are kind of having to respond to all of them. It's not just, of course, you know, a transport one comes in, it may not just be one coming to this board at the same time. They may be going to 2 other boards, and it's the same staff are being asked to.
So you said that the staff have already done it. So have they already passed the council?
No, council.
I've already done it.
Council have done it.
Oh.
So the council has changed the standing order.
All right, so, okay, so if I can just back up the truck a little bit, because I understand what you're saying about the pressure, but let's just back up a little bit, because beforehand it never had to go through the CE, did it, Helen? it was always done at board level and then it went to the CE, which would then take that pressure off. So can we not bring it back to how it was, which was if we had the, you know, with the requirement at board level, and then we can then pass it on if it gets passed at board level to the CE, because that takes that pressure off.
Are you wanting to answer that, Faye? Because the questions and answers.
Because you know how it worked before.
Yes, that's right. Well, there always was the requirement, Debbie. I think there was a local delegation previously that has been pulled back, and so that's the chief executive's discretion. I don't,
The amount of time to collate the advice to inform the notice of motion, no matter who that was going to, that is still where the pressure is. I've put an example calendar on Big Tin Can. So if you were to, and you're like within your rights to put in notice of motion 5 clear working days before the meeting, for us to get that on the agenda, in reality, we actually only have 2 working days to get the advice, get the approval, and put that on the agenda, because we have to publish the agenda 2 clear working days before that meeting. So even when we're asking to go to 10, if you were to submit that notice of motion 10 clear working days, we still would only have actually 7 working days. Because we have to take off the 3 that you can count in your notice period, but the day of the meeting, every 3 days prior, we can't include those because
I
it's the agenda.
I understand all of that. I'm just saying that we can still do it like we did before, backing up the truck at board level. And then we leave it to council.
But it's the time to collate the advice. If it doesn't matter whether it's going to the CE or if there was a local delegation, it's the time to get the staff.
I suppose what I'm trying to say is once it gets to the CE already is aware that the board is in agreement with the notice of motion.
Now, this is staff advice, so Debbie. So you know that
and Mark.
And me.
When the board is making any decision, it's required to adhere to the requirements of the local government and look at all options available and is this the best option and all those relevant factors. And this is what staff give you in a report. When they provide a report, they will give you those things. They will look at council policies, they will look at options, they will look at, and when you're doing a notice of motion, because there isn't a report, that's got to come from somewhere, and that's what we are asking for staff.
Okay, so we've still got the discretion of the CE to do it sooner if required anyway.
Yes, and as I say, the one that was on the agenda today, we were able to do it within 5 days because it was local staff and we'd already given it. So there will be, it will depend on the content of the notice of motion.
I wonder if I can just move to I've got Mark and Tyler, and then Tyler and then Andre. Mark.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if a way around this might be to have at a shorter time the discretion of the board governance manager or CE. Because that way you can have it at local level rather than at the CEs.
No, they probably can't.
Or do we just make it board governance manager? Could we change it to that?
But we can't probably do that. I mean,
we're passing the resolution.
I know.
Thinking it all works.
It's an option. It's
but that's a delegation.
You know, I wonder if I could just come back to you, Mark.
So is Faye's report, or is this the CE's report? Where the CE's actually,
it's a trickle down report from council.
Yes. And Andrew Rutledge is.
So all boards are being asked to consider bringing their standing orders in line with the new provisions of the council standing orders. That's what it is.
And Faye, if I remember clearly, and I'm I'm phrasing Mike Moore a bit. We actually don't have to agree with this, do we? Our board, in theory, could choose to not approve this. Yes, it won't change for 10 days, but it means that we haven't endorsed it.
Well, it would mean that the board would stick with 5 days, but it may mean that, in fact, more notice of motions were not approved because the advice wasn't available within the 5 days.
I get that. I mean, where I'm coming from.
I'm just saying legally, I think we can say we don't like this. It won't change it at council level, but it would just change it slightly at board level. That's the sort of legal framework.
Yeah, and the avenue I'm coming from is that it worked before. It worked before.
Yes.
And the only thing that's changed is
Well, I
pressure.
wonder if I could get the questions out first and then debate it, Tyler.
Oh, no, I think the thing that's changed is the level of transparency at which local government has to act upon. That's why it's taking so long to get this done, hence why the staff need to produce the report within the 10 working days. So there needs to be appropriate detail within that, which actually obliges to, one, the act, but two, transparency within the notice of motions themselves. So that's why, if you wanted to, and the way that I'd see it is if the board wanted to know, I guess their discomfort with this, but pass it, it would probably make sense if that's an order. But in my opinion, it's gone through council. There's no, there's no really big issue other than making sure that our notice of motions, if they're out in the future, that they're fully detailed and they show staff exactly what we require.
But it doesn't say in the
Thank you.
report that it's due to transparency, is it? That it's.
Andre, can I just go to question, please?
Yeah, no, okay,
No.
I'll save for debate. Thank you.
So you've got the framework, Sarah.
The other question, so do we know at council if there were objections to this?
Well, perhaps if you could ask the councillor.
Yeah.
There was,
you
but
just-
then they met in the middle. It was supposed to be 15 working days.
Yeah.
And then
Oh, so what?
Sam and Sarah brought it back to 10.
Okay.
Okay.
And then it became unanimous from the top of my head.
Okay, at 10.
Yes.
So even, like you said, Helen, even if we were to disagree wholly as a board, it's going to end up 10 days anyway.
Yes.
It's just voicing your opinion.
I think so, because it's been agreed by council. Other boards will probably endorse it. We'd just be seen as, and I don't mind being seen as a difficult board, but we just be seen as. That's all.
That's not the point.
Yes, Luke.
So my question is to staff, if we don't say yes to this and we submit a notice of motion, 5 clear working days, the chief executive may turn around and say, no, because we don't have enough time.
That's right.
So the risk is that it then fails.
It means that when
it doesn't fail, it just means it'll be 10 days.
Well, next
Does it mean that it's lost if the chief executive doesn't accept it?
if we don't approve this,
Okay.
They'll just stretch it out.
the issue of 10 days would still be there as a principle for council.
It won't get lost.
Yeah, it's whether you want to not endorse it, but okay this.
No, Luke's right. Yeah. Luke's spot on.
They don't, no, they don't lose it. They don't lose it.
No,
They'll
we
just-
lose it as a board. If you didn't pass this, then that means that the 5-day period, staff could, well, Mary essentially could say we can't do it within the 5 days before the notice.
So
No, that's not what she would say though.
So if Mary says no to a notice of motion, does that mean it fails and
No.
has to wait 6 months?
I think
If you come back,
Motion for that
I've
meeting.
had one fail on a very minor issue, and it just failed, and it's up to me to come back.
Yeah, but that was on a technical
It's on a
thing.
small issue.
I think
Notice
we need to be careful
for it to
about
fail.
what the chief
It needs to be
executive
voted.
would say,
Is that right?
Or they get.
because I believe,
They all need to be voted.
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
I think we need to be really careful.
Now, I wonder if I could just say we've moved our questions.
Okay, thank you.
I think we need
to the questions, because I'll move to actually discussion now. Debbie.
Who knows for sure
Yes.
what the chief executive would say legally? She would not, in my opinion, say no because it's 5 days. I believe that the chief executive will say, well, we're going to apply our 10 days to this.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
That's
not a loss. It's not going to be a loss.
Well,
And we need to be really careful that we are quoting the chief executive without any.
I'm not quite sure what you're saying, Debbie.
Well, what's
If
been
somebody
said-
puts in a notice at 5 days
That's right.
before a meeting.
Yeah.
And the chief executive has to decide within that 5 days before
Is
the
it-
meeting, and she's not satisfied that there's sufficient information.
that she'll stretch it out to 10. Because that's,
How can you stretch it? You mean
because that's
consider
what
it for the next meeting?
but she'd say, well, we're applying our 10 because that's what.
Yes, but how can you apply the 10 only 5 days before the meeting?
It's at her discretion.
It's her discretion.
I think we just.
I know that.
There is sufficient information.
Yes, I mean, if the council's agreed on 10, and most boards do, I think that the CE would apply the 10-day rule anyway. So it's.
No, what we're saying is the 5 clear working days is before the meeting. So you
Yes.
can submit a notice of motion 20 days before the meeting. that's no problem.
Yeah.
If you submit it 5 days, which you're currently allowed
It's the
to,
minimum.
minimum, that there's no opportunity to extend that because those other 5 days to make the 10 have passed.
Yes.
You see,
So
Debbie?
you wouldn't.
Yeah, all I'm concerned about is that you're saying that we're going to lose a notice of motion if we request a 5-day, and that's not, in my opinion, correct.
That's correct.
I think that what the board needs to consider here is that.
Lose the notice of the motion.
We apply 10 days anyway.
I know, but it was said here that we would lose it.
No, you won't lose it. It won't be put to the report.
It'll go forward.
No, I agree. It'll just be, it'll stay as.
Sorry, question.
I know.
So if we say no to changing it,
Yes.
what, is there anything stopping the chief executive from considering that for the next meeting then?
Considering what?
A notice of motion.
I think the C, look, I'm just thinking what the C would do. I think she'll apply it.
Well, you're putting
10-day rule actually.
That's right.
So she'd then consider a notice of motion that's 5 days out for not the meeting following, but the meeting after.
Notice says I propose to.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned that if there was something really important that our board want to put in a notice of motion, that is highly important. I know you said at the discretion of the CE anyway,
That's the catch.
but the CE still might not believe that it's as important as what our board does.
It's not about whether she thinks it's important, Debbie. It's about whether it's time to get the information that is necessary.
Okay, so in this situation tonight with a notice of motion, that was very quick because it's very simple and very collective, right? So my point is in some cases it can be 5 days. So let's run with 5 days. Well, that's what I'm going to do. Run with 5 days. If the CE needs to extend it out to 10, well, then that's fine.
If you refer to that though, in 19.3, it says, or a shorter time at the discretion of the chief executive.
Yeah, at the discretion of the chief executive.
It's there if you vote for it.
Or a shorter time.
So we can give her a call and go,
It's still there if we leave it at 5.
Yes.
It's still there either way, whether we approve the whole thing or if you leave it at 5, that's still there at the discretion of.
Is there anyone who wants to move this resolution, get it on the table? Luke and then Tyler.
Yep.
Luke, moving, Tyler seconding.
Yep.
So any formal debate on this? We've heard from Debbie. I'll go with Mark on debate. Andre, Luke, are you wanting to lead things?
I'm quite happy to vote for this. It seems that we should have our standing orders in line with the council's general standing orders. And the other thing, sorry, I was just looking at the current standing orders as it is. The current standing orders don't allow for less than 5 working days notice. My understanding, 19.3, is where this amendment does give the chief executive the ability to consider less than 10 working days. And there may be an issue, i.e. item 7 on our agenda tonight, where it could be quite easily done in 5 working days. Well, 9 or 8 even. But yeah, to me, it makes sense for us to align with everyone else's standing orders. When we're not special, we shouldn't really have our own.
Thank you. Anyone, Debbie? And then Mark?
I hear exactly what's been said, and whether we agree on 5 days or 10 days, the discretionary is there anyway. All I'm saying is that if we sit with 5 days, even if we all agreed on 5 days, the council's still going to run with 10, like you said before.
Yes.
So I'm just saying that's worked for the 12 years that I've been on the board at 5 days. I can't personally see what's changed. So that's why I'm sticking with 5 days. I think it's important and very imperative for us to be able to do notice of motions where the public are recommending change or in any degree. However, and I'm still absolutely very aware of the discretion of the chief executive as well. It's been there for 12 years and beyond my time, and you would know that, Helen, as well. So 5 days to me still works.
Thank you. I've got Mark.
I hear that, but I'm just trying to say.
Right. I'm happy to support this. We've debated this at length at council. We've brought it back to 10 days from 15. 5 days can work on occasions, and where it can work, I'm sure that Bailey and the CE will work to get it through in as quick a time as they can. So I've got every confidence in staff. I don't want to put extra pressure onto staff and have expectations that really are unattainable. So happy to support this and happy to go with the 10 days, and with the understanding that it's a shorter time at the discretion of the chief executive. So we can get it quicker if it's possible. And that's a fantastic way to be. So
Okay,
thank you.
thanks, Mark. Andre?
Thank you. Yeah, if there's 10 working day rule, the irony is that item 7 couldn't have even been there tonight. But the CEO already has discretion to rule out or decline things if there isn't time to gather the evidence. So that already happens. I've had plenty of notice of motions declined or ruled out. So I don't see the need to do this. It can be done anyway. There's not that many notices of motion either. There's not that many at this table. There's not many at the council table. There aren't that many at all. Elected members already got very, very little influence over what goes on the meeting agenda, and we also can't make actions out of elected.
They did hate in Wigram 5 days.
Can I ask Andre to continue speaking? Yeah.
So we're also not able to, seek action from elected member exchange anymore, that kind of thing. So, I don't see the need. Still in a teacup. There's already process seems to be working fine. So this will just give us less influence over our own meetings that we're elected to be doing.
Exactly.
So I won't support it.
Right, thank you. Are you supporting it, Andre, or not?
No.
No. Can I just say that I've worked in an era where a member, council or board member could put it right on the table straight away, and it didn't have to go through this thing. Now that era has long gone, but in my view, it gave sort of elected members much more control, if you like. So I can probably live with this because this is how things have been. We're moving it from 5 to 10. But the ideal way is to put it straight on the table and have it voted on by the board or in fact council. Because I've worked with that and it was a much more strong opinions could actually be in fact tabled. But anyway, I will support this because I don't think it's worth fussing about. Deb?
I'm just very aware of the time limits regarding notice of motion. I'm thinking about the Wigram hate, and I can't remember what the time limits were, but had it been 10 days, we might have missed out of being able to revoke it, and that was a really important matter. So, and that's a fine example. So
At that meeting,
it still would have happened the previous following meeting. It hasn't been built yet.
Yes.
no.
We had to.
I'm talking about the raised platform.
So can I just, now Luke, you've got the right of reply if you wish.
Just one thing I want to clarify is under the
it's speaking now.
Sorry. My right of reply. Understanding orders 22.1, the existing standing orders, it doesn't give the chief executive the ability to consider anything less than 5 working days. As we're moving to these new standing orders, hypothetically, if you had something really, really important and everything across the line, and it was 3 working days, chief executive could say yes, but under the existing standing orders, she can't. So while it's 5 working days now, if we needed, if there were 3 working days that we wanted a notice of motion before next meeting and everything was ticked off, then these new standing orders would allow us to do so. So there's the potential that there is some benefit from it potentially. There's also the ability that she may say no.
Thank you.
Ability right now.
So we've wound up the debate. So I'll put the actual resolution. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against?
No.
No. So the ayes have it. It's passed. Do you want to lodge?
You want to have your report?
Amoeba division?
Or just against?
No, because there are some people that are absent and it just notes.
did you want your vote against?
No, a division, formal division, I think, if it's called for. Right, Andre?
No.
Mark?
Yes.
Yes. Luke?
Yes.
Yes. Sarah?
Yep.
Tyler? Yes.
No.
Debbie, no.
Yes.
Yes, and I'll abstain. Okay, so it's passed.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
I see, if you just put me and Andre down, then people.
Area report. Number 13.
And that's a merge.
Yeah, I've got a question for staff.
Right, questions. Thank you.
The question I've got for staff is maybe we can go back to the units we're reporting with and see if there's any uptick in what I'm noticing here. What I'm noticing here is I'm seeing Riccarton at the top for waste and graffiti. quite consistently for actually probably my whole term. And I'm wondering if there's any change within the unit to actually address this. So for example, we've got the waste management team going around and doing circuits, and I'm wondering if they've brought that up, because I do know that it's on a biannual circuit from the top of my head. But I just wanted to see if they've actually been addressing it even more consistently, seeing that these are, Riccarton's leading at the moment.
So is that a question for you, Bailey?
Not one that I can answer.
Does that make,
Okay.
does that make sense?
So it's the question you will follow through on. Yeah, good, thank you. Anyone else?
And it's graffiti and waste, maybe, not really anything else. Really.
I flicked through a amendment to the resolution if I could possibly have that included.
Oh, sorry, did you know if I go on the
So you've actually moved an amendment, have you?
Yes, I've got a second clause to the resolution.
Which page is it, Mark? Oh, which page are you on of the?
It's the
105.
resolution.
105.
Yeah. So I was looking to put in there requesting staff advice on no stopping restrictions on Amy's Road, the Springs Road intersection end in relation to item 3.5.1.
So 105. And you're planning to move what?
To just
So I'll put up what Mark's proposing.
Is he able to change your report?
I can put that through as Hybris, Mark.
So
you can take, but I've seen your emails come through. You can put it through to OMCA and it's already been passed on to staff, so I can just take that.
Okay.
Fine.
So,
Yes.
so that is acceptable to you, Mark?
Fine.
Okay. So Sarah, got a question?
I just wanted to make a note. I note the local election awareness campaign, and there was an engagement team that was set up at the Riccarton Rotary Market to promote awareness of upcoming local elections. I think that's really awesome. I just wanted to add that I feel like there's perhaps, so this is just talking about the first pre-election campaign that I was involved in. I wonder if there's other ways that we could engage with our community to ensure that that potential candidates are well informed about how we work, what's involved. I personally found it quite tricky. I had to do a lot of my own research and own work going out into libraries trying to find the agendas, because they stopped being printed on paperwork and they had to go around look. And I just wonder if that could be, if there's more work that's going to be involved in engaging with potential people that were interested in standing. This obviously is not working in my favour if I'm trying to, but yeah, is that something that's sort of kind of come up before, or is there anything else that could be done?
So that's led by the Electoral Commission.
Okay.
So what's in there is the Electoral Commission led there, and we just had staff support because they were at a local event, so it wasn't something that we as a team so all of the campaigns is led by the Electoral Commission.
We got a comment on the council website that comes up with candidate information in the lead up to the election and tells you how, what you need to do.
Which is okay, but I think like maybe, I don't know, either like workshopping or that kind of thing, being seen in the community, striking a conversation gets people inspired. I think that's a really good thing to be seen to be doing, to engage people. And, we get a bunch of people that are interested, but I think there's a lot of people out there that would be more interested if they were more informed, or perhaps had a point of contact, could have a chat, just to help that kind of process. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Tyler? Question from you?
Question. Bailey, I'm referring to page 133 of our agenda. I'm not sure when to bring this up actually, but it has here travel around the Riccarton Ward, transport and waste, and I'm wondering if that was the thing that I was referring to. I do remember talking about waste and litter quite significantly last year. I'm wondering if that action is the same as what I've asked for today.
And do you recall, Bailey?
133, page 133.
123 on
What's
there.
the, what's the name of the action? Oh, travel around.
Travel around the Riccarton ward, transport and waste real-time services.
Yeah, I'll have to
Do that offline.
Yeah.
I don't want you to double up on work if
Yeah.
it's already in flight.
Yeah, that's right. What you've asked me, it won't come through as an action like what's on here, but I can see what the staff notes are against that if it's
Okay.
relates to what you've discussed. Okay.
Luke?
Just a question on the open actions. Is this the same as what's in Big Tin Can? There's one there that I'm not seeing. And that is the Takarawa Middle Park Road works.
This isn't an agenda.
Yeah, so we'll need to finish the area report.
Meeting.
but then-
That's not a,
Even though it's not in the open actions report, is that right?
it's not an agenda item.
So so you're saying it's not an agenda item?
The
Not
action.
the area.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So can I have a mover for the report? Luke, and a seconder?
Yeah.
Hank? All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Elected members, information exchange. So open forum, hands up please, Luke.
Yeah, I didn't get to share this guys with you guys last time, but at the beginning of the year, I worked with Woolworths about bike parking. They made some changes to their click and collect service, which took up the bike parking. And I'm pleased to say that they've introduced new bike parks that people can bike to Woolworths now and make use of our cycleways and also get them a more secure way of storing their bikes, a little bit more secure railings, I suppose you'd call them. And also there's an up room you can park cargo bikes as well, which I know a few members of our community tend to ride. And that's something that's really great to get across the line. Yeah.
Thank you. I've got quite a major piece of information.
No way, Helen. No way.
Plan change 14, the minister has declined any recommendation from council other than the sales yards, which is sort of a major one actually. So the sales yards are now going up to 36 stories. But the concern I have is declined
36 metres, Helen.
Story, all of it, hell.
How tall is that? 12 story. Yeah. He's declined the other recommendations which affect Riccarton and one or two affecting Hornby. I'll get Mark to talk about Hornby, but the Riccarton one was the Riccarton Bush qualifying matter. He declined that, which I was surprised at. He also has done something up in Church Corner that I'm not quite sure what's happened there, which I'll have to look further at.
I can talk about it.
Put in the recommendation for it to be medium, and I think it went high, did it? Is that your reading? Around Pier Street?
That was Sam's amendment.
Yes.
He wanted to limit medium density
Yes.
within the area.
Yes.
And the ministers turned it down.
Yes. So basically they've gone high density as the independent hearings panel had it. The thing I'm concerned about is that the minister gave the answer to every issue the council has raised, is that you haven't got evidence. And I know on the Riccarton Bush qualifying matter, there was evidence and he potentially could have taken that evidence. Now, I'm going to look more carefully at what his staff recommended, because I'm not sure if the staff recommended they all be declined or whether he has made that call. But I'll have a look at under the Official Information Act. But it's very disappointing for Riccarton. Are you wanting to comment, Mark, on Hornby? It's a bit disappointing for Hornby, but you might want to add
a comment that we tried as a council to find a happy middle ground and be quite pragmatic in what we put to the minister. And it was disappointing to see the council's hard worked and the community's input that they've actually put into the IHP as well. So we were trying to use the community evidence to support what we were proposing, and for that to be ignored in favour of what the IHP had recommended, I felt was, as the mayor put it, a kick in the guts for Christchurch. And then, I mean, what I've certainly picking up on post that, because we tried to do what our community could live with, didn't get it. So, hey, give us the transport. Take off your RMA reform hat, put on your transport hat, and then give us the transport solutions to back up the densification. Johnny. Yeah, we'll spot us.
Thank you. Tyler and Debbie on the same topic, are we? Tyler? go.
I'll do a quick run over on PC 14 and then I
Yes,
can give a quick update.
Thank you.
There were multiple amendments that I put through for Riccarton,
I know.
which included a city spine qualifying matter to help MRT
That's right.
have the route within Riccarton Road all the way to Belfast. That was unfortunately turned down. There were some character provisions around Pico Shands, which I would have loved to have seen approved. He has deferred that until December. They're old 1950s townhouses, and staff and council recommended that the historic and character provisions stay in Pico, and I disagree. They're old homes.
I agree.
And then you've also got Antonio Hall and Desbury House, which are two significant parts of history within Riccarton and Avonhead accordingly. But he's also deferred those. I'm really gutted about that. I wanted to see that go over the line. The other thing I was really gutted about was the sales yards. Now, part of it was approved for residential, but I asked for it to be mixed use, which was a mix of commercial and residential, which would have created a nice little hub at the end of Dean's, because there is no third space or infrastructure surrounding the Dean's precinct. Now they've got to walk up Dean's Ave and down Riccarton Road to get to where they want to go. Would have been great to have a mixed use area and sales yards. I'm gutted about that. I'm also gutted for the Riccarton Bush community, because I know that they're going to be really disappointed in what the ministers come up with. And also doing walkarounds around that area. A lot of them were really worried about that. I actually talked to Kate Jews the other day, who lives on Rada Street. And, there was a lot of hesitancy with that community, particularly. The things I was okay with was, seeing the way that Church Corner is at the moment and the potential for student housing is something that's really promising. It's more than 60% rented at the moment. It's close to 70 in that area. And there are currently 19,000 UC students that are currently residing in there. A lot of them have to go to the Spraydon area. It's highly rented, but there are also issues with an island. So you've got long-term residents sitting next to students. That is an extremely difficult thing for us to navigate and maintain, particularly with me as a councillor. I get a lot of complaints both ways. Long story short, the minister's made his decision, and we've got to live with it and plan accordingly. But I am really sad for the amendments that were turned down, because it was it was a middle ground for a lot of us. And lastly, just quickly on Riccarton, the pocket park is nearly done. It's going to be done really soon. I'm really excited. So thanks guys for doing that. It's phenomenal. For the board members, we put $75,000 into our Better Off fund to fund that alongside the parks budget. Church Corner is obviously done, which is looking actually really good. The speed humps,
functioning well.
the speed humps have been quite an issue for some of the residents, but actually all in all, they're quite happy with the way that it's flying. It's no different to the current, or what it used to be honest. A lot of traffic goes through there, a lot of holdouts, particularly around the 5 o'clock time.
Yes.
I think that's pretty much it for the big capital changes. Dean's Ave's obviously done too, the Wonky Crossing. It's looking really good too. It's been fully asphalted. There was a couple of issues around services after the floods, signage essentially, but that's all been fixed and it's looking great. The only one big issue that I've got, and I've had quite a few businesses talk to me about that, Kathmandu was one of them, was the amount of waste and litter that's on Riccarton Road. It's quite significant. Leaf fall and litter are two really big issues. And when I went and did my walk around, I'm noticing that there are no waste pickups.
No, and Riccarton was meant to be done weekly. I think that slipped. So could we check on that? Is there any?
Yeah, I've asked for that, so Bally's put that aside. So.
Sweeping of Riccarton Road.
And that was an amendment that I put through, but it was out of order.
No, it's not done. It's not done.
Sweeping, then there's a pickup.
Yeah, sweeping, I think. It's weekly.
6 weekly, is it?
Yeah.
That's not Toby. Oh no, it's not so good.
With a strong footfall, you'd expect that something along that hub, particularly between Clarence Street and Matipo Street. There'd be a bit more pickup, and actually around the hospitality areas from Clarence Street up to sort of Theo's. Those are the big issues that I'm seeing. And the last thing is lighting, but I'll talk about that another time. So there's so much going on, and
So you're wanting to do something about?
I've asked Bailey for
You've asked Bailey.
what they're doing. So that's something we need to focus on.
Okay, I've got a,
We know a go with roads.
Luke, Helen, I've got you down. Was that for a previous?
That was
Previous one.
previous.
Debbie.
Yeah,
Go
going
ahead.
back to PC 14 that we were talking about. And thank you for all your work that you did on that, Helen, because I did come along and support you on that. That was huge. What really disappointed me at the IHP panel was that there's no considerations for the fact that Christchurch is an earthquake-prone city. And also it's been brought to my attention from varying builders and so forth that there's no fire escapes on these high rises or emergency escapes for earthquakes. Let's face it. They need, back in our day, we used to always have a ladder outside, even if it's 2 stories high. But when you're dealing with these buildings now, there's nothing, absolutely nothing. And that's been a concern that's been raised to me. So that's on that issue there. Councillors, do you have to agree with all of this that's been recommended now, or can you still fight against the?
There is no right of appeal.
I don't agree with our council's alternative recommendations.
It's basically a dictate from the minister.
Okay, right,
Yeah.
okay, and the other thing, Church Corner, travel through it every day, getting feedback from it every day. The flow has slowed right down because it's just the 1 lane now.
Yes, I know.
1 lane, not 2 lanes. And I couldn't even turn onto Yelhurst Road because it was banked right up to State Highway. And of course, State Highway, NZTA's always said, don't do anything to that corner if it's going to affect our road. Well, it was banked right up. You couldn't even turn right, and it wasn't even peak time. So a lot of people are concerned about that. Yeah. So time will tell on that corner.
And it's hard to see us changing it.
You know, a lot of people were frustrated because we listened to the community twice and then it went to council. And all I can say is, well, I wasn't party to that decision, so I'm pleased about that. Time will tell how it proves to be.
We've got a problem.
I mean, we've got 4 sets of lights in what period of distance? 200 metres or something.
Yeah.
With 3 lots of controlled crossings as well.
It was a compromise on the end, I think.
Yes, I know. Okay, so Horswell, how we're going? Yes, and Church Corner, Horswell people, Hornby people all travel through Church Corner. And many people travel through it. So main thoroughfare to many places like airports and so forth. So
thank you, Deb.
And to my father's retirement.
I love it. I love it.
Andre, hold the meeting together, and we're just about to conclude.
That's great.
Andre?
Great suburb.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
Yeah. Andre, are you wanting to say something?
Yeah, just waiting for others to finish.
Go for it, Andre, all yours.
I'd just point out that it would be ironic if the NZTA said to do nothing because they'd be concerned it would hold people up, because the NZTA were planning to turn all of that intersection into a raised intersection. So it'd be ironic if they did say that.
Yes.
That's me.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, we're glad that didn't go through.
Well, if there's no further comment, I'll just about conclude the meeting with our Waiata.
Well, could I just quickly say, look, PC 14, Riccarton and Bush interface. I've already suggested to the trust board that we may want to look at the Act of Parliament that actually protects the bush, because that might be an avenue to bring extra protection. So we need to consider that as a trust board, and then potentially work with the local MP for a local member's amendment to the bill.
Okay.
Protected from
just
houses.
Protected from.
There's already houses. And
look, just be quiet, impetuous little one.
Sorry, come on.
I'm sorry, but
come on. Yes.
The Riccarton Bush is a taonga that has its own act of Parliament.
I know.
Deserves to be protected.
Which it is. It's got a fence around it.
For future generations.
It is.
Yeah, when you build it up with high-rise buildings all around it and fill the bush, you will be responsible.
How does the house
We aren't going to be able to
why haven't the current houses
solve this today.
I know you don't.
Not mine.
That's
Yeah. And look, I'm having a look at
Other-
some legal issues around this,
other
so
than this.
I don't expect it to be particular. Yes.
So another issue that I've managed to get a good win on, and so thanks to Tyler for support on this. NZTA have now agreed that the Racecourse Road, Yaldhurst Road intersection is dangerous.
It is.
And will be looked at into the 27
Racecourse.
NLTP. Racecourse Road, Yaldhurst Road, Coach Course.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So
dangerous.
they have
On the
now
corner.
agreed.
Yeah.
Very dangerous.
Community feedback. they've-
Oh, yeah, very dangerous.
To look at including that in the next NLTP. So
For
that's a good one,
lights.
That's great.
essentially.
Great.
Thank you, Mark. No, I think everyone's
To left out of here.
wants to finish the meeting. So we stand now, thank you. Right. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Helen.
Thank you. So on the live. Oh, it's finished now. Right. Thank you. So the meeting's still on live stream.
Yep.